We have multiple updates in regards to the New York Knicks and the Boston Celtics playing in the second round of the NBA playoffs, and these all have major implications for the rest of this playoff series between the two rival teams. While on top of that, we also got a cryptic update from one of the most important players on the Celtics in Kristaps Porzingis, and we're going to break all of this down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into things as always. Guys, I know I say it every video. I know it can get annoying to start videos like this. It's not lost on me. But if you guys are subscribed, thank you so much. If you're not and you're part of that 67% that's not subscribed to Knicks Digest, make sure to subscribe for daily New York Knicks content. We're releasing videos every day. You do not want to miss out on all the great New York Knicks news, rumor, trade reports, free agency stuff that's going to come up, all injury updates, and everything New York Knicks on this channel. But let's jump into the video. We do have a lot to talk about, starting with the fact that Karl-Anthony Towns has been the X factor for the New York Knicks thus far into the playoff series versus the Boston Celtics. Cat was always going to be the X factor, and especially with Kristaps Porzingis dealing with a mystery illness that's kept him out or just hardly playing throughout this series thus far, the Knicks need Karl-Anthony Towns to be dominant. He's going up against an older Al Horford, and outside of that, it's been Luke Cornett, and that's about it, who are the big men for this Boston Celtics team. This should be a series that Karl-Anthony Towns is absolutely eating in, especially with matchups like Jason Tatum and Drew Holiday on him. It gives Towns an opportunity to play bully ball and get down low in that low block and score and score and score and score, while also putting a guy like Jason Tatum potentially in foul trouble. With the way that Karl-Anthony Towns is very talented at getting to the line, all of this would lead to excellent production from Karl-Anthony Towns, but we're yet to see that. He keeps going to the high post, and it's been effective at times and not effective at other times. And I know that's where Cat's at his most comfortable, but when you're a true 7-footer the way that Karl-Anthony Towns is, you need to be able to get down on that low block and produce where you will have a clear mismatch advantage. So thus far with Karl-Anthony Towns, there's been a lot of talk surrounding him and what's going on. And in this photo, it's not pictured here, but he is making that face because he's grabbing his finger. He hurt his left ring finger on a play against the Celtics in Game 3, and Knicks fans were not very quick, or they were very quick. They were not very slow to panic about it. I mean, we saw Karl-Anthony Towns go out of his way to say, "I broke it," when talking about his left finger. Now, some people said he was talking about his fingernail. Some said he was talking about his finger in general. Obviously, you don't want it to be that he broke his finger, and that is something he would know, so there's a world where he actually just did break his finger. Yes, being on his left hand is preferable, but you want your all-NBA center to, have 10 healthy fingers and just be healthy in general. So not a good sign at all to hear that be said, and it definitely did cause a lot of fear within New York Knicks fans who really, really did want... Sorry, I got close to the camera. I was looking to see if that's Towns' dad behind him right there. It's not. Then I also thought I saw Steve Sharipa behind him, and I think Towns' dad and Steve Sharipa sitting next to each other would be cool. That's not the point of this video, though. The point is Karl-Anthony Towns is dealing with a bit of injury and much more to talk about as well. But it was mentioned by the Post that Towns injured his left ring finger, and it doesn't appear to be an issue. Towns wasn't included on the Knicks injury report on Sunday and practiced fully, according to Tom Thibodeau. So that's a good sign. Towns also suffered the injury, as we know, in the second quarter of the Celtics Game 3, but they finished the game still anyway. Towns was still out there saying, "I just want to do whatever I can be to be out there." It is what it is. I'm gonna keep finding ways to play, so I ain't tripping, which is a little bit worrisome because he's not really denying it and saying it is what it is after he was asked if he broke his finger is not exactly ideal or what you want to see out of Karl-Anthony Towns. And big friend of the channel, Let's Talk Knicks, headlined by James Ryder, the absolute man. He did say, this is his tweet saying, Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns stats this series. We're seeing Brunson put up 24 points, 6 rebounds, and 3.7 or 6 assists and 3.7 rebounds, shooting 38% from the field and 38% from 3. Not his best numbers, not his best series as a New York Knick. And Karl-Anthony Towns, he's putting up 18 points, 15 rebounds, and just shooting 42% from the field and 14% from 3. As mentioned by James at Let's Talk Knicks, these are the games where your stars have to be stars. It's time for them to show out. Set the tone in a must-win game. When they're aggressive, it opens everyone on the floor up. I expect monster games from both of these guys. You're up 2-1, a great chance to take a stronghold on this series. There's no excuses. And he's absolutely right. I mean, Brunson is yet to have that great Jalen Brunson game that we know is going to happen. Karl-Anthony Towns has struggled, and yeah, if his finger's hurting, he's going to shoot worse, but it's his left finger. It's not going to be the end of the world, and it actually might lead to him shooting more threes because he'll be a little less interested in contact, which is a problem in itself, but also this matters to Towns a lot. I do think he'll play strongly. I do think we're going to see a great game out of Jalen Brunson. And it does open up the floor for guys like Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby, who weren't getting the same looks because Brunson and Towns didn't really show up in Game 3 in the way that we usually expect them to. So there was all that concern to have. And I think Knicks fans are right to be concerned about it. Tom Thibodeau is going to have to find a way to make this team as successful as humanly possible. With Karl-Anthony Towns a bit hindered, with Jalen Brunson having a lot of usage on an ankle that's not perfect right now. But it's the playoffs. Teams are dealing with injuries. The Knicks and the Celtics are another team that also is as well. Because, again, it's the playoffs. And the Celtics have played more basketball than anyone over the last year because they made the finals. They won the NBA Finals. They've played more than anyone, especially considering the Mavericks are not in the playoffs this year because, well, Nico Harrison's, made the Luka trade for some reason. But the Celtics, because of that, have played the most basketball of any team. And that does cause a lot of just considering a team like that. They're dealing with injuries now because of this fact, and that's just what happens. And now, the biggest injury right now, outside of Kristaps Porzingis, who has been dealing with an injury, or really not an injury, but an illness, has been Sam Hauser, a key bench player for the Celtics, who's been a lights-out shooter for them, and has really shown a lot of growth throughout his time at the NBA. And there's been a lot of talk about Sam Hauser dealing with a sprained ankle. He sprained it very quickly into a game, and well, Hauser, he was much more active on the floor than the last time he was out there as he was shooting around before the game. He's listed as questionable tonight. Meanwhile, it is pretty just concerning for the Celtics to be without Hauser. They've clearly been a bit hindered by it. They've been more hindered by Porzingis, which we will get into for a minute as well. But for Hauser, it is very interesting. Now, the Post has talked about Sam Hauser as well, as it was mentioned that Celtics reserve forward Sam Hauser with a sprained right ankle was upgraded to questionable. He's missed the past 2 games of the series after suffering the injury in the series opener. Now, Joe Mazzulla also spoke on this, saying he's getting there, he's getting better, he's day-to-day, and Drew Holiday spoke on it, saying it would obviously be huge to get him back. His three-point shooting, how he spaces the floor, being able to be dynamic, having big, smooth back would be ideal, or would be good. And Hauser was a solid player for the Celtics. I mean, great shooter, shooting 41% from the field, shooting 46% on corner threes, and also averaging 8.5 points per game. He's an excellent bench piece for any basketball team. Hauser's been great for the Celtics. And if he plays tonight, that is going to be another body the New York Knicks are going to have to worry about, especially when you consider the Celtics and their shooting thus far this season. It is kind of a mystery with everything going on, but he's not the only player dealing with injuries. Kristaps Porzingis took to social media to make a very interesting Instagram post. Now, we're going to just show this full screen right now so you can see it clearly, saying, thankful for all the support. It means a lot, onwards and upwards. And that's not exactly clear what Porzingis is exactly talking about there, but we can all infer that it is something to do with him dealing with that mystery illness. Porzingis has been hampered by that illness a lot, and he's really, really struggled because of it. He's barely been on the floor at all, and there's been a lot of concern about how he's going to bounce back, if he's going to be able to bounce back this season for the Celtics. And Porzingis being out for the Knicks gives him a huge opportunity to win this game. You should be able to outplay a Celtics team without Porzingis. The rim protection is a lot worse with Al Horford and Luke Kornet out there. Yes, Kornet's a great rim protector. I'm not saying he's not, but he's a lot more beatable than Porzingis just on the court in general, and the Knicks have to be able to take advantage of that. Now, just looking at the Celtics and everyone who's played, again, we're actually going to make that a bit bigger as well. Looking at it, we see the Boston Celtics. We see Jason Tatum averaging good numbers throughout the playoffs. I mean, the shooting numbers are not ideal, and same goes for Jaylen Brown, a little bit better, though. And outside of that, we've seen Porzingis just have an absolutely terrible playoffs as far, averaging 9.1 points per game. We also look at Sam Hauser, who wasn't shooting the ball, or wasn't really getting a ton of minutes and wasn't really shooting the ball at all throughout the series against the Orlando Magic. He's only averaging 2.7 points per game because he was really just not taking a lot of shots in general. He was only taking 2 shots a game anyway, so it's tough to average a ton of points like that. But now their lineup is a bit more healthy. Porzingis is the one injury on this list right now, and it's definitely going to cause some concern for the Celtics. Now, Porzingis, he's not listed on the Celtics injury list right now, which makes things a bit interesting, but we know he's not doing fully healthy, so we'll see how the Celtics have to rally around that and how the New York Knicks are going to handle it. The Knicks are going to have to game plan ways that when Porzingis is out there, you got to play fast in transition. I'm not saying, like, I want Porzingis to be sick. I don't. But look, it's playoff basketball. You take advantage of someone who's not at 100%. What, you think the Celtics aren't doing that with Jalen Brunson's ankle? You think every team's not doing that with Jalen Brunson's ankle, or any other person who's playing hampered. Everybody does that. It's just part of the game. So it's not being dirty or anything like that. Just when Porzingis is out there, play in faster transition. Make him run more. He's going to gas out quickly. You're going to get a very dangerous player off the court for the Celtics. So that's what makes sense. We'll see how they do. We'll see how they adjust. This is a huge game for the Knicks. It's the most important game of the season thus far, and I cannot wait. Guys, what do you think is going to happen in the game? What do you think about all this? Leave a comment down below. I'll get back to you. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Knicks.